Hello everyone and welcome to the third installment of the Omnia Ramble videos. I am Viore and I am here with Hary and Omar, and today we will be rambling about the concept of EHP rates and what they should be, our opinions on how other people approach the topic and whatnot, and I don't know, we're just going to see where it goes. Anybody like to start us off with anything?
I have a question. Did you guys like the the other rates, like before RD, like the fire bonding and all that garbage? Or do you prefer it this way?
The fire bonding versus, let's see. I mean, I'm okay with the idea of it being fire bonding under the assumption that you can actually justify it with, okay, there is enough time to do everything else or make money for everything else and still fire bond, for example. Like, if fire bonding was just a method that someone stated, okay, this is efficient to do if your focus is fire making and nothing else, not like the overall like idea of 200 law, like only looking at fire making, then they would also have to prove to me that you can afford to do fire bonding and still afford to do everything else that's considered efficient. Like, I don't think, if hypothetically fire bonding is a luxury, it's not actually something that everyone can do and afford, then I don't think that's what EHP should be. But I can't really answer.
How much money would you be losing out on that? Like, do you
Not that
reckon?
much.
So, like,
What is it?
like
Like
what?
400 hours for 160 mil fire making or whatever?
Yeah, it's like 400 mil probably, ish.
And if you're doing guards, it's less.
Maybe a bit less, yeah.
Brutal's about
But
450 or
the
something.
thing I like about fire bonding is like it also gives you the challenge. Like, obviously people aren't gonna do that if it's not EHP, but if it is EHP, it's gonna, I don't know, like I think a lot of people would attempt it and try to do it. So I think that's good.
That's
Like
kind
people
of
challenge themselves.
that's kind of what I like about it. Like, it will motivate people to actually do it. And I heard like a lot of people say, "Yeah, dude, we gotta try that out," and that's actually doable. Well, since it was HP, but I kind of like it more now, like without firebending, because it's more accurate. Because I don't know, like even though it's motivating, people will probably not do it. So like play an alt and make money because they probably like. I feel like a lot of people are very afraid about money. So
Yeah.
they probably like do normal fire making just to make sure that they're gonna have enough money and make money, and like it's more realistic without fire bonding, like more realistic rates, I guess.
What if it was like fire bonding with Artie then instead of Brim or whatever? I don't know.
Well,
I feel like the GP you make from fire making is so irrelevant in the long term things. I don't know. Like that's not gonna make or break you.
Yeah.
I agree. But
Just people being paranoid.
fuck, I just added Zora.
Yeah.
Not a good way to start, but what were we saying about it? Okay, so
Promote the
you're saying,
challenge to people.
wait, what?
Like people will want the challenge of actually doing fire bonding rather than just doing wines for EHP because they can and it's easy.
Oh, they don't want. Oh, you're saying people don't like it because it's a challenge. It's not easy or whatever. Like it's not straightforward. I guess
Well,
I
like,
don't
people
know.
aren't gonna do it because they can just do Quran bonds. I don't know.
Oh, so you're okay.
That kind of thing. Take the easy way out,
But
I guess.
But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be EHP just because people are naturally
Yeah,
going to take the
I
easy
agree.
way out. I think I'm pretty. I have a pretty strong opinion about this. I think that just because people aren't doing it right now, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be EHP if it's objectively better than what current like if it's objectively better than what everyone else is doing. I don't think people should be rewarded for doing the inefficient method. I think people should be punished for doing the inefficient method. I think if firebonding is objectively better, I think you should leave it as EHP, even if no one's doing it right now, with the assumption that that would encourage people to go out, step out of their comfort zone and try doing what's efficient, try to do what's actually objectively the best routes. And I feel like if it's not EHP, we're not going to see people actually going out of their way to do what's best. Everyone's just going to settle for whatever the HP rate is, even if it's not objectively efficient. They're just gonna do whatever EHP tells them to do, which is
Hard.
yeah, like no, it lacks creativity or whatever. I guess like if you have something that's hard to actually accomplish as EHP, I feel like people are more inclined to try to find easier ways around it to make getting that EHP rate attainable or whatever, rather than, let's say, something ridiculous as using 2 alts with RC or whatever for EHP. Let's say that's EHP. That's hard. People are gonna try to find ways to make that easier and easier, so they can actually meet these rates. And I like that. People are just gonna be more innovative and creative, I guess.
It also molds better players as well. Like
Yeah, because
I don't know.
I mean, if you just sit EHP at 75k an hour RC, because that's what everyone's doing, and that's what everyone feels like doing, then no one's gonna expand on that. They're just gonna be like, okay, I can go do single easy lavas for 75k an hour.
I think. Go ahead.
But it's also worth noting that that's just a random example. I haven't done any of the calculations myself, but I'm sure people have, and apparently, well, you need that lava time for money making anyway, so
Yeah, see,
that's
I feel like lavas are really subjective in terms of money, because like there's a lot of people that are going to be able to do runners just because they made the money like early, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to do runners. They're going to have to play alts and stuff, and it's just, I think RCHP is kind of iffy and subjective, but
Yeah, like I personally I don't mind at all that you shouldn't be able. You like or CHP being 75k, like you need to make money and all that, but you don't. And I also don't mind a portion of agility being RD. But what I mind is that people don't want to make something like thieving through swimming, like that. I don't understand that. Like what's the problem with thieving EHP being gained by swimming? And you only get like 50 mil agility XP from that, and the rest you can do with RD to make money. I really don't understand that. Really.
I think that's strictly money based. That's why that's not HP, because
but you make enough money though.
Enough.
Like
I don't know. I don't really know.
Money.
But
like we I think they calculated that, and you do make enough money. But the reason why they didn't choose swimming for thieving is because nobody does it, and I think that's just stupid.
That's a bad reason not to have EHP or something, just because no one does it. And like if you don't change the EHP rates, nobody's gonna do it. Everyone's just gonna settle for the easy 1-to-1 RD or whatever.
And
but swimming is already easy though.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean it's easy.
I don't understand,
but
really.
I mean, right now, I guess an argument for people are making for current EHP rates or whatever, like RD and whatever. I don't know what else it is. I think it's RD. People. They do that with under the assumption of making like what 2 mil an hour throughout agility and the Bibles, doing a single Zora alt, and I
think it was Zora and Garg. I think.
I'm pretty sure it's only a Zora alt. Like they only assumed a single Zora alt, which is pathetically easy. Like I'm literally doing it right now. People that are watching this video, they can see how much downtime that I have at Zora. I mean, I died like an idiot, but I'm probably about to die again right now, actually. No, I'm not, but yeah, like, there's so much downtime with this, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it. I mean, I understand people are lazy, and I think it's okay to be lazy in this game. I don't think you should be, I think for EHP you should be expected to do the objectively best, even if it's intense, but I think there is justification if you as a player choose to be inefficient and do something easier, just to do something easier, like just for your own longevity. I think that is perfectly fine and justifiable. But I don't think it's justifiable to make EHP the lazy route, if that makes any sense.
But the thing is, like, even if people are saying like, yeah, playing a Zora alt is so hard, man. It really isn't, dude. Like, you can just play a Zora alt and play Gargs, and that's still simple, dude. Like,
yeah, you could do more than that.
Wild agility, wild Bibles. Yeah, dude, like you could even do more than that, but that's like easy, man, and that should be based money-wise, and that's like 2.8 mil an hour.
Zora is like unbelievably brain dead, man, in AFK. Yeah. Like with Twisted Bow, at least. I wouldn't do this with switching, but
oh, yeah, if you're switching, that's a different story, but
yeah. I mean, just do Hunter, buy a Twisted Bow,
yeah,
and then fucking AFK Zora.
Do Hunter, buy your T-Bow. Do a Gatherer to train your ult, then do Zora.
Yeah. Zora and Gorgs.
Yeah, like it's. I don't know.
I kind of like the idea of swimming, like just the because everyone's all about arty. But like I love my arty, but
I'm not saying you shouldn't do RD at all though. You know, like do
yeah,
swimming,
right.
normal
You
teaming,
just
and then do RD for the rest.
yeah,
I
you
don't
get
mind
your
that.
50 mil from the or swimming, and then you just do the rest arty and make money or whatever.
Exactly.
I don't
Maybe
know.
just-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like lower, maybe like black d'hide bodies are kind of retarded. I don't know, like if you can afford to do them, good for you. But I don't think anyone actually does black d'hide, regardless of their money. Like
Yeah, and that
maybe just change it to swimming and do red d'hide or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think you need to. Like I could very easily afford to do black dyed bodies, but I'm not. I'm doing airs, and I'm doing that because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I'm acknowledging that I want to be lazy for my own longevity. I am choosing to be inefficient in order to ensure future enjoyment and not have to altscape during like mining, for example. I mean, I probably will, but just so I'm not forced to. Like I'm sacrificing 100 hours here now, just for my own enjoyment factor, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being punished getting 0.80 HP an hour due to me being lazy. I'm 100% okay with that, and I think people should be okay with that. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I can't even sustain d'hide, man. Like I'm trying to do reds, but I literally just run out of d'hide because everything stops buying, and I don't feel like paying retarded price. But so I just do stabs. Like I don't know.
yeah, I mean, that's not justification to change EHP rates, but it definitely
Yeah.
is a struggle. Like you could just skill hop. Like skill hopping isn't necessarily inefficient.
Yeah.
That can go the same thing for Hunter. Just hunt during dead hours, don't hunt during peak hours and get 200k an hour. It just, I mean, you don't have to sit there and hunt all day. You can skill hop. Sure, it's not as interesting, or people don't like the idea of skill hopping because I don't know, maybe you don't see the progress seems a lot slower or whatever, but doesn't mean it's not efficient. It's just because you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure swimming was gonna be changed after like the recent stuff on Twitter. Like everyone's just, wait, brutal blacks exist? Oh no, and just all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that was gonna happen.
Also, I wanted to.
Then-
Oh
but
no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say like, it all of a sudden everyone's just like, leave them, just leave the raids, screw it. I don't know.
Yeah, dude,
what's
nobody
gonna-
does them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, like I think Seth made a really short video recently explaining how he wants CML to be an accurate, like a realistic, accurate, or whatever way to compare two players in the present, not not long term, thinking long term, but like right here, right now, he wants to compare different players, and like I can see that, I can respect that, but like I think that ideology or whatever for running CML promotes laziness, and like I've already preached that like it discourages people from going outside their comfort zone and trying to actually better themselves as a player, as you said earlier. I don't like that. But for the swimming thing, and you guys said you wouldn't mind it being swimming and then already afterwards, I talked about it a tiny bit with AJ. I don't know how accurate this is, but we were kind of sort of theorizing that. I mean, I'm pretty confident about this. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't tried it myself. I'll probably try it sometime in the future, but I don't think people should ever do Arty. I think that you could easily get away with doing Dorg for 66, 67k an hour or whatever instead of 62k Arty, while doing Zora and perhaps even a Gargolt. But like I mean,
Zora with Dorg?
I think so. Like I mean, I've
Never
done
done it.
90 mil XP at Dorg on another account, and I remember when Arty first came out, I guess I was just so used to Dorg. I initially thought that Dorg was still more AFK than Arty. Because, I mean, other than the chat dialogue, like all the there's like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3 obstacles I think per lap that you do that it's probably a good like 10-second AFK. Not 10 seconds, like maybe 5-second AFK 3 times a lap. There's a lot of downtime with it. It's not difficult. It's like any other agility course. It's not The only difficult part about it is the dialogue, and the only troubles you'd come up with is doing the dialogue with the Jad phase on Zora. But I've also like, I haven't tested obviously, but I'm pretty certain that it wouldn't be too hard to do, because you could just do the dialogue with your keyboard while hovering over the next prayer on your other clients. Quickly press the prayer and then go back down and then continue the dialogue, and it doesn't take too long. It'd probably take one hit for that dialogue to be done. But anyways, I don't. It obviously needs to be looked into, but I don't think Artie should even be EHP now.
You can pretty much like what you're saying about the whole do the dialogue and hover over your Zora account, like with crafting, you can pretty much click Zora and start your crafting by holding it in one at the same time. It's like,
Dude, like,
I don't know, it's so easy, dude.
yeah. I was like switching prayers such as Jad phase Zora while banking, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna lose a
You
tick or
lose
two,
things.
but it's not the end of the world.
I took like, I'd rather like take one hit. I usually like take one hit, and that tree doesn't do anything at Zora when you take like one hit while banking.
It's kind of scary. Taking a hit and then getting comboed by the snakeling, that's scary.
Yeah, I don't know, like it wasn't the problem for me. Never.
I just AFK, man. Like wherever I am in the Zora kill, and if I have to bank, I just bank, regardless.
Yeah.
I have a bad problem with not prioritizing the main as much as I probably should be, but when I'm
There's a
zoned
lot of
in, I'm
things.
good. Like right now, I'm zoned in and I'm prioritizing the main enough, and yeah, it's fine right now.
I legitimately think you could do double Zora though. Like,
Holy
if you
shit.
have the capital for 2 twisted bows, I think it's entirely possible.
Still Zoro 2 twist. I
It'd
think
it'd
it'd just
a
be.
little bit cancer, but
I just imagine double Jad, and that's just not gonna be
Yeah,
fun. You're
yeah,
you're
that
most likely gonna
is-
die on one of the accounts.
just-
I think it'd be much better to
10 to
just like
or like
a
brutals or something, I guess.
yeah, I was about to say, I think bare minimum you should be doing a Zora and a Garg, but I don't think it's unrealistic to say do Zora and a Brutal.
I know some people plan on doing like 4 brutals, and like, I don't know how fun that's gonna be, or 3, but that's literally
They're
a
not-
lot more money than Zora, so
They're probably not gonna do that, dude.
I have faith in him.
I
Take
don't
like
know what
2
you're talking
max,
about.
man.
Nah, I think you could do 3 with Artie pretty reasonably, and that right there is just retarded money. Because after the crossbow buff, it's just like 200k an hour more now, just with the crossbow, and that's a 30 mil capital item, not 1 bill.
Yeah.
That right there is more money you have for whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah. Hey,
You
didn't that?
sacrifice a bill just to do the Bibles, so you can do Zora. Like, that's just 1 bill you don't have access to do shitty methods and stuff.
I don't know. I don't. If you did Hunter Black Chins, you have like 1.82 bill or something like that. You have plenty of capital for the Bibles and whatnot.
Yeah.
And also like red chins, and like even if you choose your red chins and you play like a gargoyle, you'll still make a lot, like enough for the Evo after.
I don't see any reason to do that though, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like for
it's just
EHP.
people access better. Yeah, they're better XP per hour. Less. I don't know. I would consider them less stressful than playing alts with reds.
Gargs are so easy though. Like it's
I
not
hate-
stress to play them. At least for me. when
I do
play.
not like gargoyles.
I don't like them too much either, but
They're horrible.
just suck it up.
Yeah, same. But I don't necessarily think Garg should be calced in towards EHP rates, because they're like 500. Like, a lot of the rates were calced in at 750k an hour Gargoyle, and like if you're doing Zora and Gargs, you are not getting 750k
Yeah,
an hour.
yeah.
There's
Probably like
no way.
500.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they even like. I'm fairly certain that the rates that they calculated is just a single Zora alt. That's it.
Jesus.
Look, I don't know about Omar, but I think Harry and I can agree that that's a little lenient. That's a little. That's like there's no challenge in that.
Beyond
Like that's
lenient,
just.
Sorry, what? Like.
Like,
I didn't see
it's right now. I'm pretty sure EHP is assuming one Zora ult, and that's it. Just period. One Zora ult.
Yeah, I think you should be on Zoro Ultimate Gargoyle.
At
Can-
least.
Yeah, 2.7, 2.8 mil.
Like,
I know.
either you guys know if that's correct? Like,
I did both
Yeah, I wanna-
for a while, but I recently stopped doing gargoyles because I'm gonna do Zora and Brutals instead.
Because you can kill like, I'm not talking about max rate either. Like, let's say you
Right.
average 22 Zolra kills an hour, and you make like 500k an hour on your Gargoyle while doing Zolra, and one Zolra kill is like 105k, like including the supplies used is 105k. So yeah, like 2.3 mil, let's say that, and 500k, so 2.8 mil an hour with ults.
I was under the impression that gargoyles were calced into that, but I guess I heard differently. I don't know.
yeah.
Like,
Let's see.
another thing, I was talking to AJ about like bonds, the amount of money you spend on bonds and stuff. Like, I don't even think that was brought up the first time around.
Yeah,
I
I
think you
don't
had a
think
good point, Viore, that the battle stats cover your main or whatever, but
battle stops cover the main, or boxes cover the NMZ and part of the alt. It's
but
not
you still
too
have at least
significant.
2 alts. Like 3 mil
Yeah.
every 2 weeks, 6 mil. I don't know. That definitely will add up, I think, over time.
Yeah, or I mean, I don't think it's too unreasonable to say people pay for their membership with IRL money.
Yeah, I guess that.
Like, I'm pretty sure not most, but a lot of people do.
I pay for my main and then bonds on the alts.
Yeah, I pay my main and my main alt with Iron Money.
So yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say, do you think rune crafting should be changed then? Like, or do you just think it's however you want to do it and it's fine the way it is?
I think trying the way it is, and we should wait a bit to see like what other people are gonna do with rune crafting and then decide, I guess. Because like right now, like rune crafting is ready, like 75k, and barely anyone has done it.
I think
Like
everyone's
that.
just waiting for someone to do it, is what I think is happening.
Yeah, maybe.
Or waiting for jewelry or whatever, but
Like, I don't think we should be waiting for someone to do it. I think we should be waiting for someone to calculate a reasonable, objective, actual, hypothetical. Okay, I don't know why I keep adding a bunch of adjectives, but a way to like actually calculate the most efficient route to 200 below using a little bit more demanding alt methods, but still just more than a single or Zora alt.
you know
Like-
Ghetto
Yeah.
Love? Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Get a Love. He did
like, a
brutals and
consistent brutal through lavas the whole way and had like a fat tab.
yeah,
like,
I
hardly-
remember.
But I don't know how hard it is, but certainly it's not that bad.
I
I don't know what rates he was getting, but yeah.
I do think that RC will probably ultimately end up needing to be used for as alt time. At least I'm thinking that right now. I'm pretty certain about that. I'm not 100%, but if I had to guess right now, I think EHP for RC is fine. But I would
Yeah.
definitely, if someone gave me the numbers and someone said you can reasonably fund to do all the Bibles without using RC as altscape for money time and use a runner instead, I wouldn't hesitate. If they showed me the numbers, I wouldn't hesitate to say yes, that's what EHP should be.
Is that using your own runner or is that paying?
No, using your own. I do. That's another stance I have. I do not like the idea of relying on other people for your EHP rates. I don't think
that will work.
I don't think you should incorporate paying people to run Pure Essence or whatever as an EHP
Maybe
rate.
one, but not relying on like 4 people for
Yeah.
the maximum rate. Like that's just not gonna happen.
I don't even think
realistically.
one, man. I don't think you should assume one for prayer either. I think you should do it yourself. It should assume you do it on your own.
I don't know, like with prayer, I don't know, dude. Like I really think with prayer you can assume one runner. To be honest, like you paying someone.
Everyone in the
'Cause if you
HLC
set up
does
and
it for
you
each
can do
other.
that.
Like Brundine
like
does
I
it for
tweet-
Pano, etc.
Like I tweeted
It's the
out,
only case I
you
know about.
need a runner, and
Right.
so many people like DM me. I've done some experience with runner, and so many people like DM me. Yeah, I can do it for you, bro.
Like,
But I think
It's
if you
running pretty easily.
go ahead, viewer.
well, the thing I don't like about having someone else, relying on someone else as a runner or whatever is like, what happens if they just randomly AFK for a lap, or they just start slacking and then like 3 laps go by and like you're just sitting there for like 5 ticks at a time or whatever, and you're getting under with the CML assumed rates, and that's not your fault. You're going as hard as possible. You're doing everything right, and you're relying on them to be perfect, and they're not being perfect. Like, it's not you. I don't know.
Get paid then, dude.
And you still get more XP than with an alt, I think, if that happens. And it never happened to me. I haven't done it that much, but it hasn't happened to me.
I guess if they're that
When I
bad, you
used to
just say, hey man, like, see ya, dude. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
someone else that knows what they're doing or whatever.
Like,
But I think finding an alt runner for prayer is so much more realistic than saying, hey man, do you want to run pure essence for me?
Yeah,
Like
dude.
that
Like-
sounds like hell, dude.
Yeah. Like I only
Yeah.
think a handful of people will be able to have like actual runners running them pure SS, like maybe AJ's in a stream. You could tell
Streamers.
people, yo, yeah,
streamers
exactly.
Would be good.
I'll give you some money. Hey, come run me pure essence. It has like 200 viewers. Like definitely a few are gonna go and run him some essence to be on stream and make some money.
Definitely.
But I don't think everybody's gonna be able to do that, to be honest.
oh yeah, I
Whoppers.
don't think anybody will do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think some people
also
will
just think-
try, but I don't know how successful they'll be.
RC is so enjoyable, just the way it is now. Like solo RC is so nice, and then you incorporate all
Yeah.
this garbage, and it just ruins the skill. For me personally,
Yeah, but
Well,
I mean, that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be EHP.
yeah.
It just means that if you don't want to do it that way, you don't have to do it that way, but you're going to be slightly punished, which isn't a big deal at
Yeah.
all.
I would totally accept the punishment. I would just do 75k. I think.
I remember like we were talking about it though like a while ago on TeamSpeak that even if you like don't play and all that much like a runner, not like full efficient running to yourself with an alt pure essence, you still like get a lot higher.
Yeah,
Like a lot more XP an hour than 75k. So maybe like make that like not full on try hard,
well,
but make like 85k an hour or something.
yeah, the 85k an hour, I think AJ calculated it to be like 60% of the time you're interacting with the alt, not 100%. So you have like 40% of the top, like, you can AFK for like 40% of your hour and still get an 85k hour. AFK on the alt, obviously, is what I mean. It's like, I don't think that is unreasonable.
Yeah.
Assuming that you can justify making it a runner in the first place. I don't know if you can, but if you can, I don't think 85k was unreasonable. I think that's actually really low. But, yeah, like, this all is under the assumption that you can even justify it, which I don't know if you can. I think maybe if you play around with the numbers, you might be able to. I do
Sure,
have some
you could.
doubts, but I'd have to see the numbers first. But if you can justify it, then I don't think there's any excuse. I don't like the excuse, oh, no one does it. Because,
Yeah.
like, okay, the excuse, no one, like, I've already said this 3 times, but if just because no one does it and you have it, if you ignore the fact that that's still objectively the best, no one is going to do that if you just don't even acknowledge it. If you acknowledge it and you say this is the best, people will be like, okay, when I get to RC, I want to get 1-to-1, so I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to sit there and settle for 0.9. They're going to try it out, at least, and maybe they'll find to like it. But if you just leave it at 75k, even if it's objectively better to do it with a runner, then
Yep.
people aren't going to push themselves. They're just going to, okay, they're going to look at the EHP list, 75k an hour for RC. How do I get this? I just go do lavas, nothing else. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Not even going to bother to acknowledge the possibility of using a runner. They're just going to do lavas and settle for 75k.
I think there's a lot you could do with volcanic mine as well. Like I know it got nerfed, but it's not entirely undoable because like you can make a lot of money during that, and that could be time you save somewhere else in the game on other things like say swimming or something. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
that's been calced, but surely you could save some time somewhere else in the game. I don't know if that would be efficient or not, but like long-term macro-wise.
I don't
I
think
think
Matt-
you'd lose a
Matt's
lot of time.
Solo mining.
I
It's
kind
solo
of like
mining
that
XP
idea.
Yeah, I feel like you lose so much.
Is it
time.
that bad now?
I
thought
think it's
it was
like
It's fucking
80.
like 90k an hour, 90,
I mean-
85, something like that. It's too low. Back then, like when it was like 105, 110, 100, then yeah, sure, like
Yeah,
it
I
could
guess.
have been an option, but now it's just so bad comparison. Like too low
Yeah.
to be worth it.
Didn't someone post like a 95k hour?
That's RG though, like you can get that 1 hour, but
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Then you can
Like
get
a
1 hour where
70%.
everything just fails and you have to leave the game early and you get like a 70k hour and it's retarded.
Yeah.
Or you can just get really unlucky like I did one time and I died at the very end of a game with like
Yeah.
3.4k points and I just got
Oh.
fucked. So like my hour instantly was 14k per hour less because I just wasted the whole entire game because I wasn't able to get out of the area fast enough. Yeah, that was pre-nerf anyways, so...
But to be honest, dude, like I kind of like RC now, like 75k, and if somebody wants to like use an alt, they can use one and get like over the HP if they want to. It's just
I like
yeah,
I like
like I
that
don't mind
perspective.
RC right now.
Like
I think it's
let the 1% get the treat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
like
think
that
it's
way of looking at it too. Go ahead.
sort of the way that like Steph was looking at it. I think
Yeah.
Steph's point of view was he wants it so you can be able to at any given time look at two different players and accurately compare them. Like it's not. I think he gave the example of one player is doing RD. This is assuming Brim's EHP. One player is doing RD and one player is doing Black Dead Bodies. They both play 100 hours in a week, and how it would be one would get a 90-hour week and the other would get a 100-hour week. And although you can say that long term eventually it'll even out, right now in the present, it's inaccurate and it's not a good way to compare players. And I think that was another point that he made, that he thinks that EHP should be a way to compare other players. Which, I
Yeah.
mean, that's fair enough. But I'm personally more leaning towards, I think EHP should basically, I think this is what it was intended to be actually, but it should be the number, or the rates or whatever, should reflect on how many hours left until 200 Malal. Like, how many hours are left to objectively, efficiently get 200 Malal, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it. I'm sorry if that doesn't make sense.
No, it does me at least, but yeah, yeah. Like I'm just gonna say it again. Like my only problem is with the swimming. It's like him saying, just like he like sure, like I can understand like all trading yourself with RC, but with swimming, like it just blows my mind, man. Like it's literally a new method that's better and more efficient, but they just choose to not make it EHP for even, and I don't understand it at all.
I'm not saying
There's that
you have a biased opinion on swimming, but like you also have all of the money that you need, and there are lots of people that don't have any of the money, and that's what scares them.
yeah, but
Like,
The thing is, the way EHP should be structured is the way it has to be in a way that you can just sit down and give someone a plan how exactly to get 200 Malal. There's no variables. It's just you do this and then you'll get it, and then it's up to them to they get to choose whether or not they do it. Like they have the information in front of them and they get to choose whether or not they're going to sit there and play a Garg and a Zora ult. And at that point, if swimming can fit into that equation of just do swimming and you have the time to make the money, then it should be in the equation. I don't think it should be left out no matter what. No matter if people are afraid or not. That's if they have all the information in front of them and they're afraid, that's their own fault.
right.
I guess that's kind of extreme, but I don't know.
And I don't know. It's not like you're just gonna make that money from those two things. Like people make money doing other things as well while doing these. There's so
Yeah.
many different ways you can make extra money on top of, you know, what is calced into the sheet, which would be like Zora and a Gargoyle, let's say. Like just flipping before updates or something. Like I don't know. There's lots of ways to make extra cash that you need.
Yeah. I don't know about going into the whole realm of flipping though. That's
I don't know about that, but
there's
just,
a lot of
it's very
assumptions
easy
you could.
flipping, like just dev blogs and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guaranteed money.
I feel like that's kind of investing though. Well, and like
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
I mean, but
Anybody can do
it's
it.
not hard to do, but it's hard to calculate exactly how much are you going to make off of doing that and everything like that. It's not
Yeah.
as straightforward, and it's harder to look at it in that way.
I definitely don't think like active flipping should be calced into it though. I think that's pretty ridiculous. But some people
Yeah,
do want that.
People were saying like if you're supposed to flip, you're not gonna make that much money if too many people flip. Like it's good that not everybody's flipping, that's why it works or something like that.
Yeah, if
That's where you can
everyone in
make
the
money.
HLC is flipping, it's people just make less money, I guess.
I thought that too. I still think that, but just, I mean, Matt isn't here, so he can't make his argument, but so I'll make it for him. But I mean, he claims that he's looked at the volume and how much is traded between all the items or whatever, and he claims that hypothetically, if all, let's just say the HLC has 250 players, if all of them started flipping right now, everything would be fine. Surely obviously there'll be slightly worse margins, but everything, you'd still be able to make a lot, according to Matt's.
Yeah.
I don't.
I would take his opinion on it for sure. Like, I trust him.
I would too. It doesn't sound right to me, but he is a credible person, so like,
Yeah.
he could be right. I wouldn't completely doubt it, but personally, I'm not 100% convinced either. That is a claim that he's made, but that also
He
it's
stands by it too. Like,
yeah, he'll stand by. If he was on here, he'd be arguing it, but that's another issue though. It's not easy to just say, okay, when you're active flipping, you're making this amount of money per hour. It's just you can't just okay, you can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna go start flipping right now, and I'm gonna an hour from now I'm gonna have 3 mil, and 2 hours from now I'm gonna have 6 mil or whatever. That's just not gonna happen. Like in 1 hour you could get ridiculously lucky, make like 12 mil. Next hour you can make like 600k. Obviously that's not really gonna happen, and you could argue that it will average out and everything like that. I mean, it probably will. Like I don't know what the average is. I don't think anybody really knows what the average is. If you ask any flipper how much you make an hour, and then they'll always say it varies. They'll never really give an average. Every single flipper will always be like, oh yeah, it varies. Depends on the time of day, what items you're doing, your luck, whatnot. No one's really just gonna be like, oh yeah, you make about 2.7 mil an hour based on these calculations here. It's like it's hard to just assume that.
what's your opinion on playing an alt during the gathers, like fishing or something? Do you think
I
that
think
should be a possibility, or
I
in terms of calculating EHP for
if you
intermill?
if you're up there, I think it's pretty easy to like play a gargoyle
but
if you really needed to.
EHP assumes that you're cut eating though, so you can't
Yeah.
just be like if you're tar like. In this discussion, we have to be under the assumption that a player is following EHP and doing everything at macro efficiency. Like, so like yeah, you'd have to assume they're cut eating.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
I mean,
more cutting.
okay, I haven't tested it myself, but I'm just thinking. I'm gonna throw this out there. AJ has done cut eat fishing with nature runes or an RC alts, and I'm pretty sure he did it for a while. I don't think it's like a one-time thing. He actually did that.
He was very consistent with it too. Like, it was pretty efficiently done.
Was he showing his XP rates? Was he getting like 110k?
It was pretty pixelated, but like he was definitely not messing around on the alt. Like, he was making decent money, I think.
Okay, so like that's for my argument. Okay, that's AJ.
Yeah.
How many of us are just gonna go do nature runes or death runes or whatever while fishing? Probably none of us. But
Yeah.
if you can do nature runes, death runes, or whatever, and still get EHP, I'm willing to bet that you could do gargoyles and still get EHP and make like 500k. Let's just say 500k. Like that's pretty low, but
You could just guth on these gargoyles. You don't even have to switch. Like, you just
Yeah,
click
that's
on
what I
them.
did.
like
Alchemy would be a bit annoying, but like, I don't know.
I feel like okay, if someone obviously is on a different level, he's better. But if he can do a more like probably 2 times as difficult method, I think the average player should be able to do gargoyles with fishing, and with mining, it's already like he's done it. Like he's been doing gargoyles and mining for like the past 70-80 mil XP or whatever.
I know lots of people are doing amethyst. Like,
Yeah, and then of course, worst case, you just do amethyst.
which I plan on doing just because it sounds fun, but I don't read how much money you make from doing that. It's like, what, 200k an hour or something?
Yeah, I've heard 200, I've heard 300, I've heard 500, but I don't think it's 500.
Yeah, that's no.
If I had to guess, it's like 250. No, that's
But
literally just a guess.
It's like 400 mil you make
Hey.
roughly, like through fishing if you do an amethyst assault. That would make up for the money you lose on fire spawning. Like, I don't know, man. There's so many things you could do.
Also, I think I wasn't there when. I guess it's worth noting that there was an EHP council that created the current EHP rates and whatnot, and I wasn't there to witness what they did, or how they calculated, and what they tested and whatnot. I don't know if they thought about this, but um, I definitely think there's something with teaks, like teak benches instead of mahogany tables, that needs to be looked into. I don't think. I feel like there's definitely a way to manipulate the time or whatever, to where you can reallocate the money from you saved from doing teaks instead of mahoganies to save time doing, I don't know, something else. I really don't know. Like, that something else could be swimming, that something else could be brim or whatever. I definitely think there's something there to look at.
That's the problem. Like, there's just so many. There are actually so many routes you could take and just different methods you could do.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just
so many
everyone has a
routes,
different opinion.
but like I feel like there is a reasonable objective route that you could create that everyone should follow. Not should follow, but hypothetically, if they wanted to get it, do everything efficiently, they would follow that route. And I do think that route would entail like Zora, Garg with Herblore and crafting, and agility. And agility being either Dorg. Obviously, I think swimming would be able to be manageable. Okay, have either of you guys done swimming?
I've watched Dan do it for about an hour.
Okay.
That's all I know about it.
Can you run an
Yes.
alt the swimming? Like, can you actually do brutals? I know someone's talked about it, but I don't know if you could actually do
I
brutals.
said you could, like a Gargalt or something.
yeah, Gorgle.
But you
Everybody
will
asks,
lose
does that.
GP because there is a part where you have to like spam click like to get the XP, so you won't be able to obviously click on your alt for that time, but surely you could make some money through swimming for sure.
So I don't know what alt you'd be using, but for whatever alt,
Just ask me the lowest one, like,
I would trust Dan. Whatever alt Dan says you can use, I'd say you should, that whatever EHP, the perfect route or whatever, should assume that. Assuming that you can justify it, obviously. I don't know if you can fit it in there. And what else? I kind of want to say that you should almost be expected at this point to do a Gargalt with fishing and mining. Like, I obviously, like I said earlier, you can be lazy and you can get under EHP or whatever, you can make less GP, and that's justifiable if that's what you want to do. But I think, theoretically, if you wanted to be efficient, I don't think it's too unreasonable to say play a Gargoyle during mining and fishing.
But would you even have to do that though for money? Like I think.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
some people might.
if you okay, you can't say some people. Like, I'm trying to say, like, if we're creating the objective route, we're starting from scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking that, assuming you had to, you can.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unreasonable to assume you did, because it's possible. It's been done. It's not like this is one of the lava rates where people are like, oh, no one's done it, so why should we use that as EHP? No one's gonna do it. People have already done this, and I don't like, it's not too crazy to assume.
Yeah.
It's all about just how much effort you want to put in, really. Like,
Yeah, for your personal.
personally, yeah. But like, never mind. Surely, like playing a Garg over fishing is gonna affect your long-term fishing rate at some point. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
like it's definitely not gonna be as high as it would if you didn't play an alt. So I don't know about that whole thing, but
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth noting that what I said is under the assumption that of what AJ's done. I've never tested this myself. It's just under the It's using what I've seen from other players, and I'm smart enough to realize that you can't just compare AJ to every other player and just say everyone should do double deaths or double nats or whatever he did with our fishing. But considering that he was able to do double deaths, I haven't tested myself, but I think it's not too unreasonable to assume someone takes it one step back, does something easier, aka Gargs.
Yeah.
But I am all ears if someone wants to say or show or I test and it's not viable, it's not possible, it's not feasible. Like, I'm not gonna. If it's not, I'm not gonna deny that it's not. I'm not gonna sit there and argue that it is. But I'm just saying, based on what I've seen, I'm not. Also, to be more clear, I'm not saying we should just blindly go change EHP to that just because I'm assuming that it's possible. I think that it should be tested, thoroughly tested, and everything. People who actually do it, they try it. Multiple people say, okay, it's possible. If you don't do this, you're being lazy.
You know how much he's done of that? Like,
I have no idea. I don't know if he still does it. I don't know if it was a one-time thing. From what I've got from other people, it wasn't a one-time thing. He did that, and he's not the person that would just do it to show off. He would actually do it because that's what he wanted to do.
yeah. Oh, that sounds so miserable, though, man. Holy
Oh yeah, it does.
Anything else?
I'm not sure.
I think we covered the three main things I wanted to. It's just like firebonding, RCE, and then like alts and gatherers. I don't really know what else really needs to be. I guess swimming.
I mean, I have another topic to move into, but
Well, what?
I don't know if we're done with this yet. Are we done with this?
Well, what else is there to cover? Like with
I don't know.
other methods? Let me see. Yeah, I don't know.
Should we move
Everything
on
I
then?
wanted to cover, yeah.
Okay. Let me try to think of a way to introduce this, but right now, for current EHP rates, this is ignoring the money thing. There is a huge inconsistency that I think, at least I think there's an inconsistency. Hopefully, if I'm wrong, one of you guys will know and you guys can correct me, but right now, EHP assumes for Slayer that you're doing Slayer in a way that assumes that you have real life obligations and that you're able to zero time out of your melees, while at the same time it assumes that EHP rate is as if you were a NEET and that you had no real life obligations, that you're going to sit there in NMZ. So I don't see why it's both. I think it should be one or the other. Slayer EHP should either reflect those who prioritize melee XP and whatnot. They're at Slayer, meaning it should be like 65, 70k. I don't know what the actual number is. I'm just assuming it's about there. And then of course you keep melees at 160k. Or if you, I don't think that it should be this way, but if you want to keep Slayer at 85k an hour, then you need to do something with melees, whether that make it zero time, make it something retarded like farming, how technically you're only putting X amount of time into it, so it's like 2 mil an hour, I guess you could call it, or something. I don't know, I think that's kind of stupid, but yeah, I don't know what you guys think of that. I don't know, am I wrong about that? Did I just make myself seem like an idiot? Is there an inconsistency there, or?
My take on it is that, like, even if you have, like, let's say you have 200 mil all worth of free time, like, you have no obligations, I feel like you could still zero time your melees if you start early.
But then EHP should reflect that. It shouldn't be
Right.
160k an hour. Because if right now we're gonna sit here and say you should do Barrage Meta Slayer and then do 160k an hour NMZ, then I think Gingbino is actually correct saying that we should be utilizing that 160k an hour NMZ and sitting there playing fucking 3 Zora ults, 30 Gargoyle ults, and retarded. I don't know, that's obviously a joke, but just a bunch of retarded shit to make money, and then there is no denying that you're definitely going to be able to do Fireball, and you're definitely going to use ults for RC, you're definitely gonna do this and that. So like, you can't. You have to change something there. There's something is wrong there. Unless I'm an idiot. Like someone, if am I an idiot? Does it already assume that you don't barrage neck reels and you can still get 85k an hour? I don't think so. I really don't.
I don't think so. No.
I don't think you get 85k an hour doing melee slayer.
No, it's
As soon as you
definitely
barrage at all.
definitely barrage meta.
It's like it's inconsistent. There
So-
has to be some change there. Whether it's
you want it to be melee based, or are you for the barrage?
I personally support it. I'm gonna get hate for this, but I think that it should assume needs. Like that's like I don't think EHP should just like reflect on real life at all or anything like that. It should only be looking at the game when when your account is online. This is objectively what's efficient to do. And that would be the Melee Slayer, and that would be the NMZ 160k. Obviously, I think there is an argument that you can insert X amount of time for 20-minute NMZ while you're sleeping, or whatever you want to call it, the little 20-minute thing people do.
Power sleep, all
I don't know
that.
how much that would add up though, like over.
According to Bront, that adds up a lot. I'm pretty sure I've heard Bront say numbers that like didn't he stop Cerberus or something like that because of it? I don't remember. It's something like that, but
If
there
it's
is an
that big,
argument.
then that I don't know if that would be a valid way of doing Slayer then, if that's the case.
Well, I don't know how much exactly you get. The thing is, like, it's kind of weird when you want to assume the 20-minute NMZ before you go to sleep thing, because I guess like the way my brain wants to think about it is you'd have to like objectively like figure out how long it's gonna take someone to get 200 wall, assuming a certain amount of efficiency percentage, and then you have to like figure out how much they're gonna play per day to do that, and I don't know what how you're gonna assume how much people are gonna sleep. Are you gonna like look at studies? Are you gonna do research? How much does the average human sleep per night? Do they need to sleep to maintain, I don't know, their health or some shit like that? Like it's crazy. Like when you have to think about it to figure out how many like hours a day people are gonna play, and that would like dictate everything else. So I think
Like you said, you think it should be off of neat, almost like the game should be based off the game. So like, assuming you're playing a lot per day, so I don't know, like that. You're not gonna just play for 5 hours and then just get a shit ton of more melees if you have the free time.
Well, like okay, I think EHP should be like completely separated from IRL, because when you think about it, when you're doing phone zoning, technically you should be doing DH, D-claws, or whatever if you wanted to train your melee, so you're getting 0.4 EHP, 0.5 EHP, or whatever phone zone is. So like, like if you're gonna separate it from IRL or whatever, it sounds really weird to say, and I guess I haven't really formulated this or put this thought into words yet, so I'm probably sounding like an idiot right now, but
I definitely like what you're saying. Like, no one else has actually brought that up at all.
it's just weird. I think it's inconsistent, and I think that how I would go about it is it's unpopular, but assume neat and ignore the 20-minute NMZ. It's really annoying to say that. That's so it's really because that's objectively efficient, but it's just so hard to calculate.
Right.
Although, like you have to like assume so much to calculate that. You have to assume how much a certain player or the efficient player is going to play per day, their efficiency percentage, and to figure out like how long it's going to take them to get 200 ball, to figure out how much NMZ XP they could hypothetically get zero time, or not zero time, but in their sleep, I guess, from start to finish, and that's hard to figure out. It's not something you can just. It relies on way too many assumptions. It's not going to be 100% accurate no matter what. And I don't think.
I also just like that kind of Slayer. Like, I fucking hate Bra Slayer. Ugh. The whole spec transfer crap.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, the thing is, it should assume that you're spec transferring for like everything, like literally everything, like blood valves, like
What else
every single thing that you could possibly do. It should be assuming you have spec transfer
What
routes
is
for
it assuming
everything.
now? It's just the
I have
multipass
no idea.
trophies?
I don't think they even changed it. I'm pretty sure it's still the same that it was like 2 months
Slayer
ago.
HP now is very bad.
Like
Very,
I
very
don't.
bad.
I'm
Is
pretty
it,
sure they
is
haven't
it
even.
low? Is it low or what?
Very low, dude.
I don't know about very low, but it's definitely low.
It should be.
Like-
It should be like 92k an hour.
I was thinking
But
anywhere
where
like
does
somewhere.
that come from? Like,
I
where do you
made
get
like a
that number?
spreadsheet and I fucked it up. I had like
I heard
7
you
blocks.
used like 7
7
blocks.
yeah, but it was 7 blocks, but you got like 95k an hour with that. So if you like move
Okay.
one block, it's gonna be like 92, something like that.
I mean, they just keep giving us blocks as well. Like Wyverns, they just handed us a free block. I don't know. Surely Diary is another block. I don't know. Just fuck Slayer.
It's pretty wild. It's really hard to calculate what the rate should be. But
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when we had the Omnia EHP comp going on.
Oh my god.
I did some spreadsheets of my own. I think the best I could do, ignoring Abbey Demons, because so many people that do Slayer complain about the whole Abbey Demon thing. So
Move
I
to Australia, dude.
yeah, I took out Abbey Demons, and I think the sheet said 96k. I don't know how much time you want to give, like how much leeway you want to give for gearing for tasks, dealing with crashers, dealing with finding roads and stuff like that. So
Sure,
Was that with skipping fossil Wyverns? Like, because now you can just lock the
that was
tab.
actually before the Fossil Island Wyvern block thing, but
Okay.
but that 96k an hour was calculated when we settled for an 88k an hour to scale the people that had started in the comp. If I had to guess, about 88k sounds fine. Maybe if you want to be a little bit more picky, you can push for 90, especially now with the Fossil Island Wyvern thing.
Well, do you think Zuck should be like calced into Slayer HP? Or... I know that's a whole ordeal. That it is like two mil a task, and it's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was
It's like
just
an
yeah,
extra 2
you're
mil
right.
Slayer or something.
There was justification for it not being Zuck. First of all, like that, I don't think it should be 85k. I think it should be like 70k or 65k. But yeah, but if we're gonna assume non-neat Slayer, we're gonna somehow incorporate obligations or whatever and zero time melees or quote unquote zero time melees, then I don't think it should include Zuck.
I heard it was like 1,000 Zucks for 2 mil Slayer, and it's like 2 mil a task, so it's like an extra 2 bill. Like, that's a lot of money
Yeah,
just for a couple KXP.
yeah. When I heard that argument, at first I was a huge advocate for you should. I mean, it's retarded to say this, but objectively you should be good at Zuck, and you should objectively it's best to just go be good at it and do it.
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
shop.
it's not efficient. You can't. That's another 2 bill you have to somehow find.
Yeah.
It's not like we're already struggling
Yeah,
to figure
not
out
anymore, dude.
what's worth.
You're not gonna be able to find that with the current calcs, like, I don't think at all. I think it's so tight already as is. Like, know where you get an extra 2 bill from.
Yeah. And then didn't it? Also, I remember seeing the number like 103k when they did put Zuck in.
Yeah, I think it was like 103.
That's from a
102, 103.
spreadsheet. Like from 103 to 96k, that's pretty small as well.
It would have to be a huge difference for that to even be possible, like worth doing for the money. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Even at that so little XP. But I like the idea of having Zuck as EHP just because it's a whole nother challenge into Slayer, but it's so unrealistic because of the money.
wanted like time to learn it, and
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a learning
that as
curve and
well.
everything, and
you're definitely gonna fail a few times.
Yeah,
fast.
for sure.
um,
After
Yeah,
a
even,
while,
like,
I don't
I
know.
remember
But
talking to people that do it a lot. Like they were saying, yeah, like even we fail. So
Scott said it's like 30k an hour. It was either it's 30k an hour or you lose 30k Slayer XP when you die or you fail Zuck. I think that it was one of those two. So he kind of like wastes almost half an hour, I guess, if he dies at Zuck.
yeah. That's kind of bad. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
So-
that's a lot.
I'd say like if we had to make Slayer meta, keep Slayer meta the way it is now, I don't think it should incorporate Zuck. I think it's been, in many different ways, it's been shown and proven that it's not efficient and not worth doing.
Yeah, maybe for
Like-
a comp or something, but definitely not too in the middle.
Under like extreme theoreticals, yes, but I don't think. Like I think a lot of the Solos boys, they really hate the idea of having those extreme theoreticals, and I kind of agree. Like that's a really extreme theoretical that should not be assumed. I do think that there are some theoreticals that need to be addressed, but that's definitely not one of them. Not anymore, at least. Maybe I might have made an argument in the past, but I've changed my
That was just
view on that.
all comp. Like, I don't know. For a comp, I think it's totally different. Like, spend the money, do Zuck, win the comp or whatever. Get the efficient hours for the week, but
Well,
definitely not in terms of actual Slayer HP.
Yeah.
I'd pay to see Omar do Zuck, dude. Oh my god, imagine.
I mean, it looks really fun to try out
It
sometime.
does,
I
dude.
I won't
wanna
be
do it,
trying it for a
dude.
very, very long time, but I can definitely see myself one day putting aside like a week just to go learn it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
same.
I don't think it'd take a week, but just being willing to lose a week is the main thing.
I
just
talked
in
about it with
case.
Hary. Like, after he does mining and smithing or something, he wants to do it. I would definitely be down to do it with him at that point. Do it for a week or something.
He pushed it back again. I thought he was gonna do it after mining.
It might have been after mining. I don't remember. It was one of the two.
If he pushed
Probably
it back
was just
again.
Because he needs money for smithing or something.
Yeah. Well, he has those ties in the PVM's community, so he'd probably just get a loan.
Yeah.
The gear. But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to bring up.
That was a good point, though. Like, I like that whole Slayer discussion. There's just lots of ways to go about that with the whole melee neat thing.
Yeah. There's a huge inconsistency with that, and
Yeah.
like I'm not saying what I propose is the best way, but I personally think it's the best way. I don't know if it actually is. I'm willing
like
to. If someone has an argument against it, I'm pretty open-minded. If someone if I'm not trolling, if I'm not saying they're just trying to piss someone off, I'm actually willing to hear another argument. Like
I genuinely think the only argument would be 0 time in your sleep. I think that's all you could
yeah, and then like.
justify.
And like I said, my only problem with that is just it's so hard to calculate exactly how much you will actually 0 time in your sleep.
Yeah.
Know exactly the exact ratio of how much Barrage Slayer you can do, and then how much of the rest of it you have to do with Melee Slayer, and how much NMZ you have left to do, like on your actual computer. There's just a lot to it. I think you
also, like-
can. I think you can make certain assumptions, and you can come out with a
Half and
it
half.
all,
kind
like
of thing.
like an all right number that it's probably true, but it's never gonna be really proven to be true. So it's like it's not 100%. So like I don't know. I can't see anyone really agreeing to go with and use something that isn't guaranteed or that isn't confirmed or proven or whatever as the HP rate.
Were you gonna
like,
say something, Omar?
Yeah, like it's not just when you're asleep you can like do NMZ. It's also like if you're making food,
Shower.
if you're taking a shower, if you're wearing
Yeah.
clothes, all that.
Wearing clothes? What?
But-
Like preparing your clothes after shower, all that.
Okay, yeah.
This just goes back into the whole reason why I wanted to assume neat anyways, because it's hard to like put a number on like how much real life obligations and
everyone
whatnot you're
showers
gonna
every day.
have, and
Yeah.
like just like I think that EHP should just be separate completely from real life. I think it should just assume
Yeah.
that like in game what is objectively the best, not since I go to school personally for me. Since I wouldn't be playing anyways, I might as well be doing an MZ on my phone, getting 80k an hour. So like that's good for me. Like sure, that's good for you. You're optimizing the time you do have, but theoretically, I'm back to the theoreticals. I don't think this is a too terrible theoretical though. That's not
But dude, like,
what should be happening. But like, the main counter argument for this that I do like it. I do really like Seth's point and what Seth has to say about how the whole comparing it, like in presence, how he wants it to be accurate to compare players. I'm if that's how everyone else wanted it to be and that's how it ended up being, I wouldn't be upset with that. I think that's fair enough. Personally, I don't think it should be like that, but like if it is like that, I wouldn't really. It wouldn't bother me too much.
You want to base it off IRL though, like assuming IRL obligations, then zero time melee should be a thing. Like it should literally just be
Yeah,
zero time.
that
Should
needs to
getting
be
HP.
changed no matter what. Like, it needs to either be
I don't know
zero
why it's-
time or
People just don't want to see
change.
a 50 week. Like it's literally that simple. They just
yeah, people. Nobody wants to see a 50 week, even though I'm pretty sure I want a 50 week. But yeah, that's a good point. But like, it's just
like,
inaccurate though. Like, it's flat out inaccurate and inconsistent and just dumb for it to assume that you have real life obligations. Like you're able to get rid of a lot of your NMZ time with IRL to
Agreed.
justify doing 85k an hour Slayer, but then assume that you're not doing that, then assume that you're going to sit there and sit on your computer and get 160k an hour melee XP an hour. Like that's just that's dumb.
backwards, dude. It's actually backwards.
but dude, like, do you know how much actual efficiency there XP an hour would be?
Yeah, I
Anyways.
don't, but it's
Yeah,
not going to be
yeah.
hard to figure out. It's like you could probably figure it out in less than 20 minutes with getting spreadsheet. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like
it
It would
it's
be
probably
pretty easy to count.
yeah, it's probably going to be like 65, 70k if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a lot of melees, and then it's going to be sort of reduce the amount of time you have to spend in NMZ, and like ultimately it's going to be less hours to 200 all, like assuming the conditions of the needs. But yeah,
Of the neat.
it's funny, but like
No, you
It's-
make a very
it's-
good point, dude. Like actually.
yeah, but just to reiterate, I hate that I have to say this. I just don't. I probably shouldn't care. I'm pretty weak-minded in the fact that I don't like when people like are gonna just straight up hate me for this. Just to reiterate that I'm perfectly fine if EHP is based off of Seth's ideology. If I haven't made it clear enough, I think it's perfectly fine.
I like both ways, honestly. Like, there's definitely good points from both to be made. So definitely
Yeah.
tough.
I mean, like, I think my argument is objectively, like, is more like objectively what is the best, and then the other argument is what's going to like what everyone's going to do, and then I did make an argument that I do stand by, that the whole this is what people are doing, what people are going to do, that promotes laziness and whatnot. I don't like that idea at all.
It definitely does promote laziness, 100%.
But if that's what everybody wants, then I think that's what it should be. I don't expect everyone to just agree with me and then EHP to be changed to what I think it is. Those are just my opinions, and for the sake of the video and for the sake of entertainment, I express those opinions, and yeah. Anything else on that topic?
No, I'm good.
Nope.
I think there's one more small topic to be brought up. It's very tiny. That's gatherers plus construction. I like to group those together, like mining, fishing, and woodcutting mainly. Not really hunter. And there's a tiny bit of a debate on how those should be calculated. Should they be theoretical max rates? I think not. Should they be based on the 30 hours? Should they be based on the same assumed percent margin of error? Personally, I think
I don't know, like the 30
I-
hour thing.
Margin of error.
I think the margin of error is just the easy way to consistently figure it out what the EHP should be, and it's like, but there is a huge flaw in that, and that being that, for example, mining, getting if we assume the same margin of error of like 109k fishing and then 125k mining, it's going to be significantly harder to get 125k mining that is to get 109k fishing, and some would argue that's pretty flawed, and then that conflicts with the whole previously stated argument of, oh, you should be doing a gargoyle alt during mining and whatnot, and I don't think if you did a gargoyle alt and with mining you'd get 125k consistently. I think 120k maybe, but 125k seems pretty high, and there's a pretty good argument for that. But the argument for percent margin of error is more so that it's just an easy, consistent, quick to go to rate. So
Mining is also just, in my opinion, a lot easier than fishing. Like, it's just, or sorry, it's a lot harder than fishing. Like, fishing is just so simple and dumbed down now that, like,
Yeah.
the whole margin of error thing is kind of
it's heavily flawed there, but it's just an easy way to compare all the skills, all those four skills.
definitely don't like the whole base it off a 30 hour, because there are so many variables in terms of a 30 hour and what people can do in a 30 hour. Like, people don't just do 30 hours all the time. Like, after 24 hours, anyone could, flatline. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not how CML is right now, but just when someone does a really good day, everyone wants the rates to go up for some reason, even though, like the mining day or whatever, and just shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, because
It's-
30 hours are so just
Yeah,
dependent
it's like-
on you as a person.
I think the 30 hours, like every single possible way of approaching it is pretty flawed. The 30 hours is pretty flawed.
What was the other two? The margin and what?
The margin of error, and then assuming theoretical max rate. I think assuming theoretical max rates should just be the automatic no. You should not assume that. That's
Yeah.
it's just not what EHP has represented for a long time. Maybe if it was from the beginning, from the very beginning, EHP was created in a way that represented theoretical max rates, and it was always like that. There's a good argument for that to still be that way. But since
makes no sense to change it, like at all.
I mean, Foot could have done that from the beginning, but he actively chose to make it somewhat realistic, and I'm pretty sure that he even has stated that EHP should assume like what's sort of realistic to maintain. So I don't think that it should assume theoretical maxes. I think there's a tiny bit of argument for it, but not. I think almost everybody would agree that it should be more reasonable what people are actually going to average. But I guess you could use my old logic about doing like firebonding and whatnot as EHP. Like, if you just make it an easy rate, people are going to push themselves, but I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I think this is a little bit, a
whether
tiny
it's
bit different.
112 for fishing or 109, like, no one's gonna push themselves, for 2k.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Karma was trolling, but a couple weeks ago, he was saying like if they made EHP your 30 hour, that he would try to push himself harder to get better rates.
Dude, he AFKs so hard, he's not doing shit.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but like he was someone that said, oh, he was gonna go out of his way to do better, but
I don't know, maybe that could influence some people, but it's so minimal that it literally makes hardly a difference in terms of 200 mil in the skill.
yeah. And then, so I guess I kind of like the way it is right now. It seems like it's not really based on anything except for everyone's personal opinion, like a general consensus of what everyone thinks that the rate should be. It's not really based on a percent margin of error. It's not really consistently based off a 30 hour. It's just people agree on. No, it was the EHP Council thing that they created.
What was up with the random 500? It's like 110.5
Yeah,
now.
the fishing thing was pretty weird. Like, he added like an extra 1.5k to what was proposed, but other than that, I mean, like, I don't think people were really heavily opposed to that. It was pretty insignificant, but
it's just weird, out of nowhere kind of thing.
yeah. So I think what we have right now is all right, and I think he increased con from 875 to 900 as well, which is good.
I totally forgot about con. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think, I mean, con's not that hard. It's pretty easy, but the thing is with con, it's really punishing if you make mistakes, so.
Yeah. Like ping and stuff has a pretty big impact.
Oh yeah.
On.
That's pretty big. But I'd say, I guess with skills like Con, changing EHP, like just by 10k is really insignificant, so it doesn't really matter that much. But
Yeah.
if I had to put a number on it, I'd say 915 instead of 8 or 900.
Like, hey, Jace is 6 hours. Actually insane.
Yeah, the dude did like a 954.
Yeah.
But the calculated max was like under like perfect ping conditions is like 960.
Oh wow, buddy.
I don't know if that's actually accurate. I just remember hearing that number.
I heard it was 960 or something too. So. Fuck, I was gonna say something. Can't remember.
Let's see. I've been trying to like scroll through AJ's Twitter and I wasn't able to really find anything on what ults were assumed for what's it called?
Gatherers?
Not gatherers, for everything really.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like I remember we weren't 100% certain whether or not they assumed whether or not you did only a Zora ult or Zora and Gargs, although I'm pretty sure it's only a Zora. And a lot of my arguments would be rendered incorrect or useless or invalid, or I don't know what you want to call it. But if they already do assume Zora with guards, I don't think they do. I did propose it to AJ, and he was a little skeptical, and as like implicitly saying that it already isn't. At least that's what I got from it. But yeah.
I have one thing to go back to about the margin of error. Is that how they are right now? I'm not really entirely
No.
sure.
Right now, it's just
So
like a
they're not
general consensus of what people think the
for
rate
each
should
one.
be, based
Okay.
on just personal opinion. But
100's
everyone has like a
220, right?
consistent personal
Got lowered to
opinion.
220?
Yeah, it was 230, and then
Okay.
he lowered it to 220.
Pretty funny that like no ult shooting red chins or ult shooting or no just shooting red chins is like 200k an hour, and then you go to blacks with an ult and it's 20k an hour more than reds. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think there's a tiny bit of argument that I'm pretty certain that the 220k is assuming like you just did Hunter straight. I think there's an argument for skill hopping Hunter during dead hours and getting significantly higher than 220k.
I remember back in the day, Borsi would just go out, do one trip of blacks until he got attacked, and then he would stop. But he would go back to reds then. But like I guess instead of doing that, you just do something else.
Yeah, instead of that you
Maximize
go
it.
skill hop. But I guess if you want to think about it, it's sort of flawed because a lot of what we said EHP should be based off of was doing Hunter straight first, buying a T-bow, and then making the ult and going with the ult. If you'd Hunter straight first, you could make the ult to get the T-bow, you wouldn't be able to really skill hop. You'd have to do it straight. So I guess if you, assuming you have to do it straight in order to get the T-bow, to do the Bibles, etc., etc., I guess you would have to assume 220k, which I guess in that way would justify 220k.
Yeah, it makes sense. Excited to see what Omar gets with black chins soon. Are you gonna do blacks, Omar, or are you gonna do reds?
Oh, why do reds?
Fucking cuck, dude.
Thanks.
At least try blacks, dude. Like they're fun.
Fuck that.
Come on, dude. They're actually so fun until you're getting actually ragged. But
I kind of regret not doing more blacks, but
I definitely enjoy them. They're good fun. Until you laugh at them and die, like Karma, and end up on SparkMac Live.
yikes. I don't know what else we should talk about. I think that might be it. I didn't really write anything down before coming into this.
Covered a lot. Do you have anything to add, Omar?
No, I don't. We
Are you
talked
still
about
ticking?
everything. Yeah.
How long has it been, Viore? Do you know? Like just estimated time.
We're at an hour and 19 minutes for now. Let's see.
Wanna wrap it up then, or what?
I guess we could just I kind of want to quickly just go through the rates.
Yeah.
950k an hour cooking. I think that sticks out to me. I think that's a tiny bit high. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of what you guys
I
have
agree.
experienced, but I
Well, you could
it
bottom
seems
for
high.
100 plus.
Well, I don't think you should assume botting,
Yeah.
but I always thought that 900k was like the agreed upon reasonable
much-
long term rate. Then if it's like 950k, like I don't know what I missed.
A lot of
But-
human error in Chroms. I don't know.
Yeah, it follows under the same thing as con. It's very, very, very punishing. Each tick is worth a lot of XP.
Yeah. I've never done them though, so I really have no clue anything about them. Because I was one of those plebs that wines was EHP, so I took the easy route. Did some wines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did it pre couple quality of life things, pre make all, then pre Desire bank or whatever. I did it at the cooking guild, so I lost like 2 ticks every single time I banked, maybe even more. Yeah, I didn't even do the right click bank, so I lost I think like 3 ticks every time or the 4 ticks every time I banked. No, I don't know, three or four. I really don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but somewhere around there every single time I banked. So, like I said, every single tick matters a lot with a skill that's 1 mil an hour, 900k an hour. So, I lost a lot of XP. I think my best 6 hour ever was like 850k or something like that. So,
Your best 6 hour was 850?
yeah, I think so. But
Okay.
I do recall seeing. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to bring it up because I'm almost 100% sure they used OPHK and they botted it basically. But yeah, I'm not going to bring it up. But I did see a high hour one time. Okay. I guess this is minimal, but I'm looking at fire making right now. And I saw that they increased it to assume that you get the Pyromancer sets. But they don't account for the 20 hours that you spend getting the Pyromancer set.
Is it actually 20 hours? What the hell?
I think the drop rate's about 20 hours.
Good
Like on
lord.
average, you spend about 20 hours in whatever. And I kind of thought about this to myself. A way to implement this. At 1.2 mil XP, I think it's like 76 or something like that. Like 75.
You could potentially lose hours, like if you get unlucky on the set. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna assume you get it on drop rate.
okay.
I think like to incorporate that into EHP at 75, that's magic logs. It assumes you do or you get 447k an hour with magics. That actually already assumed the Pyromancer as well. I'm pretty certain, which is kind of high. But I think instead that should be Winter Tide. That should assume you do Winter Tide and fire making between games, getting about 400k an hour. So drop that down to like maybe 390k ish, just to compensate for the fact that you need to actually spend time getting Pyromancer.
Yeah.
I mean,
that should
it's
definitely be
really
incorporated. Like, if it's not.
it's really insignificant, but I think it's worth adding. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
I would say
notable.
that'd be
It's there. Those 20 hours, just you don't just magically say, "Hey, I now have Pyromancer. Time to go get 2.5% more XP per log." Like, I wish it was like that.
Yeah, fuck Winter Toad. Holy god.
And I guess we have smithing. Didn't Ray figure out that you could also zero tick the banking as well?
Yeah,
Then,
Fraser
like-
was talking about this
Oh
like,
shit.
the other day. He was saying he was like averaging 415k for. He wants to do like a 410 plus 6 hour, or
Yeah,
415k 6 hour.
I've heard that theoretical max is now up to like 430.
Yeah.
So I think
That's so
380 is a
stressful,
little
though.
low.
Fuck.
So like
Yeah,
maybe
I
like
think 380 is pretty low.
395 to 400-ish, maybe somewhere in there. That's assuming that the 430k was accurate. I don't know if it is. So I'm trying to notice a pretty bad trend of what I'm saying this whole video. I really should have gotten a lot of my facts straight before coming here, because a lot of what I'm saying is just regurgitating things that I've heard from other people that could be false. I kind of feel stupid now.
Even if what you're saying is speculation, like 380 is still low. Like,
Yeah.
it's been pretty proven you could do 400, so I don't know.
But that comes back to the whole, should we assume theoretical max? I don't know if 400 is
Yeah,
theoretical
true.
max. We don't. If 400 is theoretical max, then I'm pretty sure
rare.
it's not. But if
Fair
it
enough, yeah.
was, then that means the Redick would be fine, in my opinion at least. Talk about swimming. I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to bed soon, so.
Any last words, Omar? You're kind of quiet.
His hand hurts, so leave him
Sorry,
alone.
sorry. Nah, dude.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Oh, fucking hell. Alright.
Okay, so I guess we could wrap this up a little bit. Would you like to do an outro, Omar, or do I need to do it?
Thanks for
Yeah,
listening, guys.
Do I need to do your
Thanks a
job
lot for
again?
tuning in, guys.
Big shout out to T Karma.
Yikes.
I'm done.
Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and I guess this video marks the return of the Rambo videos, and hopefully there'll be more to come, to say the least. I don't know who will be on them, but I do know we have like 7 topics or so in line, I guess 6 after this video, so hopefully we'll have more to come. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and peace.
Goodbye, friends.
Yeah.